Hey everyone, it's Jeff. I play bass in Nightspake and in Deadbird, and I use basically the same rig for both of them. So I kind of wanted to go through. People ask me from time to time, what is this monstrosity that you're using? So I wanted to just kind of go through and just show you kind of the rigs that I use for Nightspake and Deadbird. So we'll start with the basses. This is my main bass for Nightspake. I love this bass so much. This is an early 80s Ibanez Musician, and this one is really cool. It's dirty, so sorry about the fingerprints. This one's really cool because most of them were neck through. This is actually a bolt-on. You don't see those very often. And the preamp is great. The battery just controls the preamp, and so if the battery goes dead, you don't lose signal. It's just like a really nice preamp boost. And this thing plays great. It sounds great. I've always wanted one. And when I saw this one, I had to get it, and I love this bass. And then my backup bass for Nightspake is, I try to have a decent backup for every band that I'm in. It's just a Schecter. I got it cheap, but I did put EMG X's in it and an EMG Mudbucker in it, and it sounds great when I need it. It doesn't really have a lot of life in it. It's a Schecter. It's kind of emotionally flat. And then for Deadbird, I have two basses that are both jazz basses. My main one is the Fender Elite Jazz, and this thing is unbelievable. It's probably the nicest instrument I've ever owned. It's got the translucent pearl finish, and it's great. You can do it active or passive as well, and the noiseless pickups just sound amazing. And the Fender version of the Badass Bridge. And the neck is really soft, like the wood that they use on these, it's great. And yeah, it's probably the technically the nicest instrument that I own. And that's my main instrument for Deadbird, my main bass. And then my backup bass, which I actually love this. It's basically just the Squier vintage modified jazz bass. I mean, these things were pretty cheap, but the wood that they used on these was incredible. And this thing feels so great. I hate to say it, but a lot of times I prefer to play the Squier over the USA Fender, which that's really crazy. I did upgrade that to American pots and a jack. Still got the crappy factory Squier pickups in it, but they sound good, man. This is a great sounding bass. And yeah, those are the two basses I use for Deadbird and the two basses that I use for Nightspake. That's my basses. Let's take a look at some pedals. Alright, so this is the pedal rig that I use for Nightspake, and it's pretty similar to the one that I use for Deadbird. Deadbird's just a little bit different, but yeah, this is a Death by Audio. It's kind of like a copy of the Earthquaker Sun pedal. It's just like the weird octave and the weird filter. And I can let you hear it if I get in trouble for it if I use the volume turn whip, but I only like to use pedals that I can dime out. For some reason, I'm weird like that. Everything's got to be dimed out, so that's no pedal at all. That's just straight preamp distortion. And then you can hear when I kick this thing on. So I really just engage it on the heavy parts. And then over here I have the Cliff Burton fuzz wah, which I use. So everything is just dimed out on this. If you take a look right here, you'll see that everything is just dimed out. And I prefer it on the vintage setting over the modern setting. Aside from that, just a regular old tuner pedal. And in Nightspake, I have this K oscillator that I play with my feet during songs, just like for noise and ambience. boxes left and right, and then I can run that straight to front of house. And yeah, that's basically my pedal board. The only difference with Deadbird and Nightspake is I don't use the K oscillator in Deadbird, and I may throw something else in there that's usually just like a heavy metal pedal or something like that, but just something else that's like gainy. I don't really use any effects in either band, so yeah, that's my pedals. All right, so my amps. Yeah, this is the Sun 1200S hybrid. It's great. It's got the 12AX7's preamps, and it's got a big gnarly solid state power amp in it. It's cool because it runs at 2 ohms, so I can run 2 cabinets. Super loud, not known for its modern tone quality. It's just a big burly nasty monster, and it's just super powerful. It's great. And then of course the power conditioner, which is cool because it also tells you, the voltage level of the room. And we play a lot of dumps, so that really helps. And then of course I use this for the preamp. This is a PV Century, and anyone that's seen it already knew what it is. It's actually the Mortician edition. And so yeah, this thing is amazing. It's got the parametric EQ on there, so depending on the room that I'm in, I can dial that in or out. I can pick a frequency and pull it in or push it up. I usually keep the saturation, because since I use it for a preamp, I usually keep the saturation pretty low, preamp dimed. And then since I'm running preamp into preamp instead of the effects loop, I actually like it that way. I think it sounds great. So the post usually stays right about there. And then this thing was a game changer whenever I started using the Ampeg SGT DI, because for years I could hear my tone bouncing off the back of the room that the front of house was getting, and it just sounded horrible. DIs are just clippy and gross. And so this thing is a game changer because it's got the cab simulator, and you can simulate the 810. And I don't use any of the grid on it or anything. I just used it for the cab sim. But it sounds amazing, and ever since I started using it, I can hear my tone filling up the room, and it's the tone that I actually want and love. So yeah, that's my amp. So yeah, that's my rig. Thanks for watching, and come check it out. Deadbird and Nightspake are going to be playing hopefully in a city near you, so come check us out. All right, thanks for tuning in.